Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Pioneers 2071, it is my pleasure to welcome you back on discussing one of the most important future challenges that we will face in the next 50 years, that is education's economic and AI. In this debate, we have Team AI Neo and Team Okai presenting their possible solutions along with policies, technology implementation, and innovative ideas.
The scenario that we have been presented with is of Aero, a highly advanced economy which is driven primarily by productivity as a direct result of artificial intelligence implementation. Our goal, motivated by the tagline, Make Humans Great Again. We have made our policies such that they aim to address this problem by simultaneously implementing two strategies, namely immediate response and long-term response. First, by finding the definition of humans. Uh, Second, diversifying the education system so that students are not pressurized to take the title examination and instead are motivated to go for opportunities that they want to pursue by themselves. Second is the long-term response. Uh, this one aims to change the direction of AEROC, which it is currently on, and form a link between the current scenario and a realistic, sustainable model that would be based on the idea of human and AI integration. Our first policy is a special occupation division, which is meaning of humans. We have addressed this issue by highlighting that there is a lack of labor diversity because most of the jobs cater to artificial intelligence researchers or the management team directly related to these fields. So our aim is to diversify this job market and find ways which distinguishes humans from artificial intelligence. This policy would help us understand how humans can how the untapped potential of humans could be extracted, especially from the non-working population. Our second policy is to consider AROC not as an individual country, but a country in the context of a global world. Due to a rapid advancement in artificial intelligence and change in the structure of society, AROC has especially found problems. To solve these problems, which can be termed as post AI problems, because the problems have been found because of the direct implementation of artificial intelligence technologies. Our second purpose is to collaborate with other countries. So we can introduce something termed as international AI license that would enable other countries to access parts of AROC's AI technologies. Our third policy aims to decentralize economic output. We have implemented this policy to combat salaries of the non-working population. We would have to diversify the job market, or you can say the economic activity of the country, to add new sectors which contribute to the overall economy and stabilize the country in the case of such an AI failure.
The fourth policy that we would like to talk about is called the Pursuit of Knowledge, or abbreviated as POK, so that people can chase their interests and can contribute towards their society. After POK, we're going to discuss our fifth policy, which is the OP units grouping system. OP units, which could be abbreviated to OU. So basically, OUs are attracted towards systematically grouping people so that people could be organized and increased cooperational skills could be seen.
In this policy, the integration of natural intelligence and artificial intelligence, we are considering integrating the benefits of artificial intelligence with the ingenuity of humans. We have seen that in current scenario, AI is functioning mutually independently of humans, and due to that, there is a communication divide between humans and artificial intelligence. So the rest of our policies can be summarized in the direction that we have to push. Our proposal is that we want to integrate humans and artificial intelligence. Why we want to do that is because humans by themselves have to use artificial intelligence as a tool in the current society, uh, and instead of that we would want to use the idea of a backup portal which would help upload the intelligence of humans to a centralized systems which would store the intelligence,
Thank
or
you,
you can.
Team AI Neo.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is honor of us to be here with you to join the conference. I'm Seungwon Ok from Team OK, and I'll be giving the presentation addressing the issue of education, economics, and AI. In the given scenario, ERA is highly developed in the aspect of AI, but we have discovered a number of serious problems. To resolve these problems, we have come up with several new policies and products, and as a result, this will create our new ideal country, the new era. The basic ideology of the new era corresponds with 사인여천. This means to serve people like heaven. In Iraq, there seems to be an extreme polarization in the class. Moreover, AI is in charge of almost all of the production activities. No industries other than AI industry is emphasized. The diversity is gone long ago in this country, and of course, human dignity is very at the risk. Therefore, by promoting equality, acknowledging diversity, and protecting human dignity, we strongly believe that a society can become a real utopia. Iraq now needs new innovative policies to become a better society. First, tax policy should be strengthened to address the polarization that is prevalent in Iraq. At the same time, the basic income system is continuously implemented and progressive taxes are applied to increase taxes from high income earners. Regarding the issue of title, the admission quota of AI educational institutions should be greatly expanded. Compulsory education and lifelong education are essential to develop the ability of people to have economic power in a future society where the total amount of information and knowledge is increasing. Therefore, courses up to high school should be designated as compulsory education, and the title test related to the before slide should be reorganized to reflect them thoroughly. Also, reinforcing our public education quality is needed. Giving professional after-school programs such as machine learning programs is a way. Abolition of preparatory school can also be a policy. After 50 years, humans will have longer lifespan. People live in a fast-changing society, and we have so much time to do whatever we want. There is need for people to study during their whole lifetime. Therefore, lifelong education system is necessary. Proper education should be given considering the age of each people, and life respect education and humanities should also be emphasized in this AI-focused society to achieve factors like diversity and human dignity. Furthermore, because Iraq is a country which industry focuses on AI technology, it needs to diversify its industry structure. Therefore, developing not only AI, but also other areas will be a good way to improve Iraq's society. And the most ideal way would be to carry this out under government control, such as implementing licenses. In current Iraq society, people working in the AI industry tend to look down on other people, causing polarization. Thus, making an appropriate cognition among the society will be necessary. This can be done using media. PSA is a kind of advertisement which coincides with public interest. The government must provide advertisements which emphasize the message that every job is important, so that people cannot compare each other's value. Iraq's economy is so dependent on the AI industry that if the AI industry is weakened by unpredictable events, it will deal a fatal blow to the country's economy. Also, excessive competition is caused because only a small portion of the population can work in AI-related industries. Products using AI overwhelm products made by hiring people. Naturally, by market principles, people choose cheaper products, which are products made using AI, if they are of similar quality. However, human economic activities involve not only supply and demand, price and utility, but also individual psychology and social culture. Considering this fact, the government should systematically support the branching of products and services of small business owners and self-employed people. Secondly, among companies that do not borrow AI technology, those deemed to be human heritage should be selected as human cultural assets or craftsmen and supported. Finally, a new consumption culture that calls for consumption of man-made things should be promoted by gathering individual brands, human cultural assets, and artisans, and events like fairs should be held for these people. Considering the policies, we came up with 3 products to overcome the crises that the country of Iraq currently faces. The first product that we came up with is the 2071 job fair. Second product is PSA for industrial diversification policies. The third product is AI robot customizing service. This product is developed by the government in order to fully support people enjoy their jobs and hobbies. The way to receive customized AI robot is very simple. All you need to do is to fill out an application form on ARCO's website. Information like basic personal information, your current job, the reason for needing this robot, future plan of usage are required. Then the application is reviewed by ARCO, and if there is no special reason for disqualification, the created robot will be delivered to the requested destination. Previously, AROC has reached an irreversible level of layer polarization and AI-oriented industrial distribution. As each of the problems interlocked, it led to a vicious cycle. Thus, the introduction of some extreme policies was inevitable. Policies such as introduction of wealth tax and reorganization of title may be considered unsatisfactory to some of the upper classes, but they were essential changes for AROC's long-term growth.
Team AI Neo, could you elaborate a bit on Policy 5 and Policy 6? And do you think forming OUs is an appropriate solution to tackle the unemployment problem?
Well, the number of jobs is not actually addressed by policy number 5. It's more addressed by other factors that we have considered.
I have a question for Team Okai. In your educational policy, ensuring equal opportunities, half of the title passers go to the lower class.
I think maybe there was misunderstanding of our policy. Half of the people are selected from the higher classes, and the last 50% of people are selected from the lower classes.
What's your incentives? Will people sort of willingly move away from AI, or is this something that can be only done at the policy level, or do we need more higher level ideological change? Why do you think people will follow? Because if you continue to use AI, you can make more money.
Okay, so in our policies, instead of completely replacing or undermining the value of artificial intelligence, we have tried to move it into the direction of integration. So our long-term goal is to integrate humans and AI.
The reason why we mentioned a lot of non-AI related fields is because to reduce the competition and remind people that AI related jobs is not the everything.
So systematically grouping people, actually, tested, for IQ and EQ and AQ test, it sounds actually a little bit more like psychological big brother. So where's the privacy? And why, what kind of incentives for citizens to participate in the system?
Okay, so basically we're now going to talk about like people. So for example, I want to address the professor's concern about privacy in the OUs first. So basically for example, the psychology tests of IQ, EQ, well, these are basically like, let's say these are going to be classified information. We always have these regular experiments are performed where classified medical information is maintained and stored by research teams. So this is not going to be certainly anything new. It's going to be all the information that we're going to obtain is going to be basically going to stay private. And the purpose of this is not really manipulation. What we're basically trying to do when we're making op units, we're trying to group people who are similar minded. And if we find people who are conflicted with each other, then op units won't really last, especially since op units are designed to extend towards the end of someone's career life.
And also PSA, public service advertisement, Acro website, from Okai team. But where is the feedback mechanism? Where is the participation from the users and citizens? Where's the room for demanding new policy? What's the kind of ecosystem for making better policy, etc.? So that might be my one of the questions for two teams.
Okay. First, our team made a small window for our public's voices. As you saw in the PPT slides, you saw that in the web page our public can upload our private questions or feedbacks. So the government can see the feedbacks and apply directly. And secondly, I think the public's feedback can apply not only with policies, but also by the frame of the government. And one party should make the policies that public wants, and by votings, there's some feedback sessions with votings, because public votes the parties that gives some policies that public wants. So by these mechanisms, we can get some feedbacks from public. Thank you.
On your team, as a mediator, if there is a kind of conflicting negotiation, interpretation on the certain policy between your citizens and international level, like other countries, how you can actually solve this kind of conflict between the stakeholders. At the same time, Sang-ho, right, from Okai, reconciled and how you can actually promote national collaboration, in your institutional level, from the government side.
Okay, so we have proposed the introduction of an international AI license, and the way we have implemented is that by enabling AROC or any other country to gather information gained from implementing those technology.
To answer your question, the backups for the given problem of us was like this. The problem that we focused on was that if the education is not executed well, for example, 55 of the people are not having jobs and they are not interested in getting education. If the situation like that is occurring, people might lose their opinions continuously. In today's real world, artificial intelligence is growing at a tremendous speed. But frankly, is enough social discussion being made? Are public admitting this change and facing straight at the future? I'm sorry, but I don't think so. So in this context, we thought that having this conference was a very good opportunity to think about and prepare about the future. So it was honor of us to participate in this conference, and let's keep thinking and preparing about our future. Thank you for listening.
So I would like to finish off with the idea that we had proposed, the backup portal. So the main idea is that humans are physically fragile, and with any sort of compromise that might happen to these bodies, the information is lost and the intelligence too along with it. So our idea is to connect it with artificial intelligence systems, which would help ensure the integrity of information, even if there is something that physically affects the original owner. And this integration would eventually lead to a more sustainable economy rather than a one which is dependent on human versus AI.